big honking box. Of course, you already know what's in it. It's a UPS. So let's open it up and check it out. Yeah. So, the reason I got one of these things is it seems like this year, for whatever reason, a lot of little power blips. And it just, not enough to knock everything out, but it's enough to knock the computer out where you have to restart it. It's annoying. So I got one of these things to eliminate that problem. CyberPower. It's a big one and it's heavy because it's got lead acid batteries in it. Sealed lead acid batteries, which, you know, they're all right, but they're not that great. These UPS companies, you need to get with the program. You need to get lithium, lithium ion, lithium phosphates, or the sodium ion batteries. Come on, lead acid. It's old technology, people. It's junk, especially the sealed lead acids from China. They only last, if you're lucky, if you get 2 years out of this flipping thing, because they dry out. More cardboard to burn. So, when you buy these things, you got to kind of rate it for what your application is. So these things go by so many watts that they can handle. So I looked at mine, and that's everything in this area running. It's only about 300 so watts, I think it is. Right now it's at 300. So 300 watts. So I got a 900 watt. Just because I'm one of them guys, you always get more than you need. Because you might need that kind someday. And if you are running off of this thing during a power failure, you're not going to suck down the batteries in about, 2 minutes. You actually want to, for me, I actually want to run on it for a little while before it starts squealing and squeaking and going, hey, stupid, shut down. So this is the CP1350 /1500 AVR LCD 3, and it's the CyberPower. Hardware installation guide. Replacing the battery, yeah, someday. It's a 24 volt battery, 9 amp hour battery inside. So it's a big honking lead acid battery, and I do believe it's only good for about 3 years. I think this thing starts yelling at you, as most UPSs start yelling at you to replace the battery. So it's 1500 VA, 900 watts, maximum load, full-time surge protection, 12 outlets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything on the silver side is surge and battery override, and everything on this side is surge protection. So that's how that works. Simulated sine wave, blah blah blah, and it's 25.68 pounds. Yeah, that's about right. Typical battery recharging time is about 8 hours. Battery life is 3 to 6 years, depending on how many discharge and recharge cycles. Recommended battery: sealed, maintenance, lead-free, maintenance-free lead-acid battery. And it's got a display, and it tells you all the good stuff. And I think you can hook it up to a computer or an app and stuff like that, and then plug it in, and plug it in. So, turn this sucker around. Getting started. For initial startup, plug in the UPS system to a power supply. Press and hold the power button to turn the unit on. Before first use, charge the UPS system for at least 8 hours. Don't slide off. I better put it on the mat because it'll slide off. And once they hit the floor, everything slides off. Everything's unlevel, unplumbed in this establishment. So if it can find its way to the floor, it will. So we got a nice long plug, and it's one of them space saver designs and stuff like that. So this needs a grounded outlet. Do I have enough room? Probably not. I'll have to crawl under the desk to actually get a plug, so I'll get an extension cord and plug it in somewhere else. Okay. So plug this in. We got the one of them display peeling sticks. Ready? Do 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 do. Ah. And it's got a pretty display. Wow. It's actually, the other model's got like a black and white display, so I got this one because it's got color display, and I'm attracted to that kind. Then we'll take the label off, the sticker off the CyberPower. Do, 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 do. Here. So let's see, battery capacity says it's fully charged, it's online, it's got a little saving thing there, current load, current voltage 120 volts, my RMS says 119, so it's only off by one. And then we got all the little buttons to get into the menu and this and that, blah blah blah, and we got a USB port, USB-C port, all that good stuff on there. And of course, I showed you the backside and stuff like that. So this display goes off after a bit. Figures that you're done looking at it. And on the back here, we got all the surge protection stuff. We got the coax in. We got the Ethernet in and out. We got a USB port. That's probably for connecting to the computer so you can tell it what to do and stuff like that. And then we got a serial port. Really? Why? And then the 12 outlets and then the circuit breaker in case you overload it. So, should we open this thing? How do you open it anyway? Is it this side? Got some screws. It's got some screws. Should we open the battery up? Probably. That's all this is a big honking lead acid battery in there. I'm gonna do it live too. Eventually the batteries would have to be replaced in this thing someday. Of course, being in this laboratory of wackiness, it'll never see another lead acid in it. And again, I'll change brands or something like that and disable the charger in this thing. And oh, that look good stuff. There we go. So there's the batteries. So let's see, looks like two batteries in parallel. Or I mean series, I should say. Yep. So what are these little guys? So I'll make a little cut-in segment here while I'm either taking the UPS battery compartment apart or blah blah blah. Add a little momentum in here or a little addition in here, and it's the menu system on the UPS here. Of course, on the front of the unit you got 3 different buttons. You got a display, a mute, and a setup, and then it's also a combination enter button. So there's by default, you know, an average user, you can just plug it in and be on your way, continue your day. But if you want to get into the menu systems, there's quite a few menus that you can, you know, curtail your likings and stuff like that. So when you go through the menu systems, you're going to have a couple of, I would say they're in order, depending on if this is in order, because it's kind of just like, you know, whatever. So one of your menu functions is going to be utility quality. And it says select the voltage quality of the input utility power. If high is selected, the UPS will go into battery mode more often. So if there's a lot of blips and blah blah blah, it's going to be cutting in and out of the battery more often than the other two modes. So you got low, normal, and high. So depending on how well your power comes in, whether you get an occasional blip or you get multiple, you know, voltage sags, you know, during storms and stuff like that, you can set this up. So if it's set to high, it's got a real high trigger rate, so it'll really be kicking in and out. And then of course low, where it'll take quite a bit to trigger for the thing to come into battery mode. And then it's got another menu. It's called it's customized. It says customized shows up when maximum and minimum output voltage has been adjusted in the high transfer voltage and low transfer voltage functions. Whatever that means, I have no idea. And then another menu here is a high transfer voltage. So I will imagine it fine-tunes the maximum overload protection or over voltage In the utility quality settings, you only got 3 types of fixed voltage ranges to be chosen. However, you can fine-tune the high transfer voltage in this function. If the utility voltage is usually high and the connected equipment can work in this condition, you can set the output voltage range higher to reduce UPS from going to battery more often. So going back to the utility menu there, when you got it set to low, it's got a voltage range of 97 volts to 144 volts. Your normal mode, you're going to have the 100 to 139 volts, and your high voltage is going to be 103 to 135. And actually, having that meter up there, I actually have seen from time to time the voltage go way over 130 volts. And let me tell you, even when you're not paying attention and you're focused on something, you notice right away when you're getting a high voltage environment, because everything in the room, if lights are on and stuff like that, they really get bright. Oh, wow. It's like when the sun comes out from the clouds. It's like, wow. And then, of course, your other menu here is you can set the low voltage transfer function. So you can fine-tune your high and low voltages. You know, you just say that, and it's one of the things where you get to know your equipment. You're like, well, this thing doesn't like to go operate below 105 volts. So you can set your low voltage to like 106. So once it gets down to like 106, it triggers the UPS to go into battery inverter mode. And then we got the sensitivity. You know, if the connected power equipment can tolerate more power events. So what they mean by power events is high voltage situations, low voltage situations, and stuff like that. And you can set it to low, normal, and high. And your next menu item is the low battery warning. So you can set the low battery warning to 5 to 8 minutes. So once it starts getting to, you know, the critical voltage where the whole thing's going to shut down, you'll have enough time to shut everything off. And it's got a self-test menu to do a test on the battery to see if it's good. And then it's got an event counter, so you can reset that. And of course, then you can go back to default settings. So I would say for normal conditions, everything that's by factory default should work just fine. So that's it for a little addition for the menu system. So we'll go back to whatever I was doing. Rightar. Okay. Red and black. So 2 smaller batteries. They're wired in series to give you 24 volts. So since each battery is 9 amp hours each, you still get 9 amp hours because that's the way the electrical theory works with batteries. You know, you hook the battery up in series, you get more voltage, but the capacity still stays the same of the battery. So if you were to have them in parallel, they would 18 hours at 12 volts. So that's pretty easy. So I'll probably, in time, you know, when the thing starts squealing, we'll come back to this thing in another video, and we'll change the batteries out. We'll put some lithiums in there or something like that, and we'll figure out. Since most lithium batteries, they sort of charge similar to lead acid, where they charge at 14 volts, but most of the lithium batteries have their own BMS battery monitoring system in there, so you can pump whatever in there and it'll basically self-charge on its own and stuff like that. So that's it for the little, well, actually not little, but quite hefty 900 watt CyberPower UPS. So I'll find a home under there and connect all this crap up. All I gotta do is use one plug. Or maybe I'll split them up or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But it's a UPS, and I won't have to worry about power blips and stuff like that, and having to wait to restart and all other gaga. And if the blip is long enough, the internet goes down until that reboots and stuff like that. So enough rambling on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.